It
I'm
hit the metal
ah
on the way down or something there. Like
uh
it
you
wasn't
know,
all net. It hit the back rim and then went in.
that's my first slow drop of the season. I'm
That's
clearly
incorrect, but it
uh,
is one of the few.
no, that is correct. Slow. I've gone fast, but that's my first slow one. That I
Well, our
the fans can
respective
check the tape.
exhaustion has come into play already.
Yes, the fans can check the tapes, but yes, as our lovely fans will know, this is our second post hiatus return. Again due to hashtag life.
Not so
It
consistent this year, are we?
uh I'm not gonna say we're inconsistent versus gonna say that life is inconsistent and unfair. That's what I'm gonna go with, because I would be consistent
Why wouldn't
otherwise.
life get out of the way and let us pod?
Yes, the life is to have the right priorities. Um, we've missed a few fun things. I think the league is actually the most consistent part of things in terms of standings and uh movement, because Joe is still there because his team's like good. But the other thing that we haven't missed, because there have been no substantial movements, is trades. You had
Need
so many
trades.
no
Need the
trades.
trades. More trades, please.
And like the one trade we have had was like the unexpected, like I didn't want that trade, and
I
I'm
mean, it
really
was a
disappointed.
hilarious trade. It like they a team that traded its star maybe totally torpedoed another star on another team and made its team better all at the same time. I mean, that's a lot to get done in one trade.
Like I mean, so obviously in the universal context of consideration, the Nets like crushed that trade. But like, what is Dallas?
Given especially the like pressure they were under.
They got two passable players, like not just passable, two
Starters, two good starters.
two solid starters that actually like work for the team, and they got some draft picks, and they got rid of a cancer. Like how
A noted anti-Semitic cancer.
what is Dallas, and is he gonna stay? Like I just don't.
I mean, he could bolt after this season, go sign and play with LeBron, and
Do
that
you
would be
fire
also hilarious.
do you fire the GM immediately if that happens? Like you fire the GM, right?
No, because I think Cuban has to know that that's a risk when he signs off on that deal. Um, unless they have an agreement in hand, like essentially, I think what their thought process was is everyone in the West is meh. And so let's go for it. This year, we have Luca in his prime. He might continue to get better, but he doesn't have the best habits. So maybe he won't. Maybe this is the best he's going to be. And he's young, so he's still healthy. And his habits haven't caught up to him yet. So like, might as well take your shot now. I get that part of it. Like, I'm always for a team going for it. It might turn out to be a bad move, and I think it will be because I think Kyrie is gonna implode their team as he does every other team he's on. But I appreciate the general idea of going for it, even if there are a lot of potential negative consequences and it doesn't work out.
Yahoo thinks that their starting five will be Luca, Kyrie,
Yep.
Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock, and Christian
Powell.
Wood.
Powell. It'll be Powell, right?
Powell instead of Hardaway,
Wood.
Wood.
He's the bench guy.
But like, God, that's a bad
They
lineup.
need Powell in the starting lineup more than they ever have because they need somebody to stand near the rim and like help when all those drives come at them.
They they got to make another move, right? Like that's not even a
With what?
conference
With
contending
what?
team. I don't know.
They don't have anything else. They
God, it's
cashed
bad.
on all the chips. I mean, their two best players are going to be better than the two best players on most teams.
Yeah, but the rest are going to be so much worse.
That doesn't. I don't know. I don't know how much that matters.
The Lakers have proven that it matters quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, if your two best players are only on the floor a third of the time, sure. But they're still, Dallas has much better cast than the Lakers do, even depleted now. Christian Wood is better than anyone else the Lakers have that's not LeBron or Davis by like 1,000 miles.
I'll give you Christian Wood, but I don't
Dwight
know about.
Powell is like a very good defensive center. They have young guys with promise. Tim Hardaway Jr., even though his contract is horrific, can do good things on offense. He's a better shooter than anyone the Lakers have.
I want more. I think Kleba's hurt, but like they need more Kleba. I need more Kleba.
He is I do like that he's like secretly kind of dirty. And
Yeah, yeah,
I
he
feel
is.
like we kind of need that on that team now. Like you need some toughness, you need some ruggedness. DFS was their tough, rugged guy, and now he's gone. Durant loves Finney Smith. Like he wanted him super bad. I've heard, so it sounds like he's probably pretty pumped about that. So
That's exactly the player they needed, and
he's just like a better version, bigger, better version of Royce, basically.
bigger, better version of Joe Harris. Like
No, Joe
I
Harris is not a defender.
but that's what I like. Joe Harris, all he does is shoot threes. I think DFS can shoot threes at the same rate as Joe Harris and does everything else better. He was just super underutilized on that team. So like he's just an auto upgrade to like the guy who was starting. I think I don't know. It'd be interesting to see who they don't start between Harris and
Who
Royce.
cares who you start when Cam Thomas is dropping 50 a night? Like, you know, just go put four defenders around him and let him go one on one for 48 minutes. See what
Where'd
happens.
he? I don't actually know who that even like. I don't even because he's older. Where'd he come
No,
from?
he's a
No.
second year player.
Oh, I got confused by something then.
He is an LSU guy, I believe.
So so the most important thing
He's
for the
only
fans.
21.
Oh, wow, that's young. That's awesome. Good for him. Go get a contract. Maybe the
Yeah,
Bulls can get him
yeah, he was
and then pay him
LSU.
too much.
He's only in his second year. He was there. He was the 27th pick in 21 in the 21 draft.
That's a good pick.
I had
Uh,
him actually for quite a long period last season as like a microwave bench guy. Whenever someone got hurt, he would come in and score 20. And so anytime one of their guards got hurt, I would pick him up for like a week. And then he'd go score 60 something points on bad efficiency, but like he'd score a lot of points and hit a lot of threes. And I was heavy on points and threes last year. So he was always like a guy who I would look at anytime the people in front of him went away.
so surely the fans will want to know
By the
the
way, I would like to note 43 more tonight.
yeah, it's like that's that is like that's nuts. Like that's 340s in a row, right? I thought
Yes.
he's gonna break some
He
record
has
soon.
134 points in the last 3 games. He also had he did it on 48% shooting. He was only 3 of 9 from 3, 18 of 20 from the line.
Wow.
Uh 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 stocks, -4.
Yeah, he's definitely eating. He is just eating everybody else's calories. The production on everybody else on the team has dropped precipitously.
Yeah, he's got some cookie monster to him. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna make that a thing. I'm gonna start calling him Cookie Monster and see what happens.
do it. Surely, as we have learned on the show, and as the fans will know, like it'll be on all of the other blogs by Friday.
Yeah,
Uh,
Yahoo will have made up this name for him by Friday.
so the most important question really then is that the fans will surely want to know. I'm gonna pull up the stats. So Kyrie, obviously is the person we have actually named him in this trade. Unfortunately or fortunately, we'll debate. Joe, our league leader, is in possession of this particular player. So from a fantasy value perspective, what do you think? Better or worse for Kyrie's fantasy impact, and will it propel Joe to his inevitable title that he seems to be on, or will it knock a rung out of his stool of players here?
I think that it'll be I think he'll probably be somewhat similar, if not maybe a little bit better. Um he's very used to playing next to very high usage ball dominant stars. It's basically all he's done for the last like 8 years. He always finds a way to attach himself to one of the 5 best players in the league. So despite all of his dumbness in some ways, he seems to have some self-awareness of the kind of player he is, that he is a 1B or a 2, not a 1A. And so I don't think his stats will change much.
And I'll throw him up there. He's averaging 27, 5 and 5, and 2 stocks on 48% and 88% shooting.
Really good.
Yeah, he's playing actually like crazy well this season.
I think
And
he will also be motivated because he's playing for a contract. Probably his last contract if he blows up a couple more teams along the way.
I didn't think about that. I did not. I had an opposite take, and then I did not think about the contract considerations. And yeah, that's not. He's gonna go crazy, isn't he? He's gonna go supernova. The
Gonna go
last.
supernova. I think the most dangerous thing about trading for him is he's gonna go supernova. They're gonna have to sign him to a really big contract. Then he's gonna freak out and blow them to smithereens. Like, and then he's gonna sit there with like 3 years left on a gigantic contract into his what? How old is he?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
He's definitely the next John Wall contract, like guaranteed, like a
Eh,
bajillion percent.
the John Wall contract was only bad because his Achilles it blew up, not because he was a terrible person or
He's
player.
he's 30,
Yeah, he's 30. So you're talking 33, 34. That's not,
and
you know,
and he's got hard miles. Those are not easy miles on that
I don't
game.
know. He skipped a lot of basketball. I think he's only played like a third of the games that he could have played for the Nets during the time he was on the team.
Give me a comp. I'm actually that's a very interesting it's a very interesting question of like how many actual miles does he have? I'll look up on games. What's a comp for he was
He's 30. He played, I guess we're counting playoff games. He's played a lot of playoff games because he had all those deep runs with Cleveland. Um, let's see.
was he drafted? What year was he drafted?
He was like 14 or 11. He was drafted 11. So
2011.
yeah. So like, I mean, interesting to compare his like games versus Anthony Davis's games, for example, who was the #1 pick the following year, who has also missed a lot of time. Or
So
or you compare him to Dame, who basically has played every game ever except for like last season where he missed half the year.
I like that.
Dame
So
versus Kyrie.
yeah, Kyrie's played 651 games.
Mm-hmm.
Dame 753. So Dame is 100 more games than Kyrie, even
Starting a season after him.
and not going to any finals like
Yeah.
for multiple years.
Is that counting playoffs?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Should.
Yeah, because Kyrie went to a lot of playoff runs.
Wow, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. Like that's a good take. That's a whole season less mileage. Uh plus whole season plus. Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
Uh
he
ugh.
he probably still has plenty of gas in the tank from a physical perspective. Now, you know, there's just no way he doesn't blow that team up. And the question is like, what's the damage, right? I mean, you have a top 3 player in the league on your team right now. If he poisons that well too bad, like, think about what the Nets did. They traded a team killer to Dallas, then got back an unprotected pick that comes 2 years after Luka's contract expires. They sent him in as like a Trojan horse to destroy the team and get like a #1 overall pick, basically. That was the mission.
They've they've done good on their trades, like in general.
No,
No?
I disagree. The Harden trade was a disaster, both of them.
Oh, no, I can't remember. Maybe I got that
Trading
backwards.
for him and trading him away were both disasters.
That's true. I'm sorry. I in my head I got that reversed with what they got. I thought they got dumped Simmons, but no, you're right. The last thing I'll say there is I had it. I had it.
And you
As the fans will know, I have been a bit of a Luka dragger because of his lack of team leadership, and that team has like no leader. Who who like who's even like getting folks on the court? Like, who's even the who? I feel like Dinwiddie was like a pretty like he's a vet. He's probably helpful in the locker room. Finney Smith seemed like kind of a energy guy. Who's like motivating that team to give a shit?
it's JaVale McGee's team now, my friend.
Yes. Love that. Like that's not who you
Old
want.
sage old man JaVale McGee.
That's not who you want.
Nope. No, and you talk
Uh,
about a team devoid of leadership, and then you bring in Kyrie, and it's like, ooh, have fun, guys. I mean, that. Best of luck.
uh, we've been dragging this for a while now, but I have to say that at least they did something.
Yeah,
Unlike
I mean
my
that is, I agree with that. Like, I respect the risk. It's a big risk, but if there's any year to take a risk, it's this year. Like, there's no, Dynasty Golden State is not sitting around waiting for you. Like, they're still there, they still exist, and they could come back, but like they're not sitting there at 60 wins and you're gonna have to go through them in home court no matter what. You don't have, you know, peak LeBron. You don't have peak Kawhi. Jokic is amazing, but like, who else is going to do anything? And can those guys stay healthy? Like, Memphis somebody might kill somebody on that team, and then they're all
the
hosed.
entourages might fight and then get the team suspended.
Exactly. So like, if there's any time to go for it, it's now.
Uh,
Because
I I'll take that. I'll take that. That's a good
in a
take.
year or two, some other dynasty is going to arise. One of these teams is gonna hit it big and is going to become the next thing.
I do think I mean the Kings, you never know. They could make it happen.
Oh
Uh
man, this is a weird year when you're like, oh, the Kings, they look pretty stable.
I do think Denver is even not as good as Murray is finally starting to click and like that team looks real damn good. Uh and I'm very much hoping it's a chalk final right now. Like Denver Boston final seems like super excellent
It
to
would
me.
be good basketball.
It'd be good basketball. So like I'm kind of rooting for the chalk. Uh hey, it's better anything's better than the Bulls right now. As we discussed before the show, I couldn't even you
Bulls who beat the
challenged
Blazers the other night.
you challenged me the last time we did a show 3 weeks ago to like make some trades, and I've discovered it's literally impossible to do anything of any value for that team because they are so broken, and I don't know what to do about it. And there's just no trade there that doesn't involve some horrible combination of things they don't need or money they can't have. And the only one I could come up with, you poo-pooed, because apparently DeRozan and Kobe White for OG and Boucher is the worst trade ever.
Not the worst trade ever.
Says you and the trade machine.
It's a
So
fine. It's a trade. It is in
it is
fact
a
a
trade.
trade.
It is a trade that could happen
I
between.
just think that I think I mean, really, the best roster move Chicago could make is getting Lonzo back.
Yeah, I
If
think I think that is
if
the just the
with
deal.
with healthy Lonzo, that trade actually makes a lot of sense, I think. Because like, OG can score a little bit, but somebody has to be setting him up. And that guy does not exist on the team as currently constructed.
I think they're
Without
just
without
broken.
healthy Lonzo. He was so important to everything that they did, and not having him and him clearly going down like a Brandon Roy path, sadly, where like he's just going down before his time, and that just kind of upends the whole team. And I
What's
think that the DeRozan Levine thing worked because he made sure everyone got their stuff, and he went out and guarded the best perimeter player. Like, I feel like I mean, I've been a Lonzo guy for a long time, and I feel like he does not get the proper credit for how well his teams go when he's out there. He just like is a very steadying force who makes everyone around him better.
It's an interesting like debate of like roster construction where like with Lonzo, it's like, oh my God, that's a great roster. And then it's almost like a single point of failure, but not the star player, right? Like nobody would be
But he's the
surprised.
most important player.
Right. So it's like it's one of those things where like nobody'd be surprised if like the Bucks were bad because Giannis got hurt, right? Like, oh yeah, Giannis got hurt. He's like, but like he's not the same as like he's not the obvious star player, but he's like the linchpin to make everything work. So it's kind of that weird dynamic where it's a great roster, but if he's not there, it's a shit roster. But think people don't think like he was there. So I do think they're not going to do anything, and they're just going to hope he's going to get fixed because otherwise nothing works. Or if he doesn't get fixed, they'll like cut him and rebuild.
I could see the blow up happening this summer. They're
Just
not going to do it now because they owe a pick, but I I could see a Levine trade and a DeRozan trade and a Vooch trade in the summer.
Vooch is free agent.
Or I could see Vooch walking or Vooch
Oh,
sign and trade
Vooch
or
is walking.
any
Like
number of things.
there's no way they're going to get
You
anything
could
for
sign
Vooch.
and trade it. Almost nobody has cap space. There's only
Yeah.
like 3 teams with cap space, so you probably can get something for him.
I just don't even know who like the Levine trade. I don't think I think they're stuck with him. I don't know who's picking that contract up. Like
There's a lot of smoke about Levine for Westbrook and the 2 unprotected Laker picks.
God. I mean like I didn't know they had picks left, but
They have
like
a 27 and a 29. And, every year we get a little closer to those dates, like it's, if that happens 2 years from now, it's like, oh, that's like next year.
I don't know what that trade does. Like that's a funny trade, but I don't want that for like the actual Bulls.
No, that trade is like a total
Rebuild
tear down.
to the studs.
Like, yeah, not even like get rid of the studs. Like,
Because it's not a near term. You don't get any near term picks. That's just like
no,
that's
no,
that.
this is a 5 year, that's a 5 year, like, push it down the road, kind of OKC style tank where they're not thinking 2 years, they're thinking 8.
That's buying a plot of land in Tank City when you don't even have the permits for the house. Like
It's
that
like
is
buying a plot of land when like the master plan community hasn't even been announced yet.
you're just speculating that
You
they're
just
gonna buy
bought
your
like
land.
a couple of acres by a lake, and you're like, well, hopefully infrastructure comes here someday.
This is not making me happy. It's not making me happy. So yeah, I think the Bulls are screwed, and I can't even make a trade. Um, and I think they're gonna miss the playoffs. Is how this is gonna go.
Well,
So that
speaking of
was
playoffs,
that was a segue. Because we've missed a few weeks, and we're only 4 weeks out, including this week, from
season's going
our
really fast. I feel like
it is going
I
really
was
fast.
I was
We're all,
looking at my team and I was like, okay, I'll do this and this and this, and then I'll have like 6 weeks to make a run, and then it's like, oh no, I won't. There's only a month left.
it's also because I think I did the shorter end of the options, and there's 3 weeks of playoffs. So like the regular
Yeah, we
season,
do have an extra week of playoffs this year.
and I think I could have done like tw week 24 as a championship versus week 23, but I wanted to bias earlier for avoidance of throwaway time. Although this season's probably not going to matter. It seems like most teams there aren't going to be too many teams shutting it down this year. So, um, we know somebody's going to be in the playoffs. Unfortunately.
Already there. It's time for him to do his built for the playoffs movements. Like, start thinking ahead.
The only clinched and certainly going to be the #1 seed is Joe. I'm hanging out in second. My
A whopping
mid-season
3 games over 500 as the second best team.
a lot of parity. We're matching the NBA. We're matching the NBA because
Yep.
like I had
Yep.
my doldrums and then
You've got Joe's Boston, and there's
or-
no Bucks or Denver in here anywhere. It's just like everyone else is like Phoenix and Miami and all those other Portland, and there's not even a Kings here. You're the
Yeah,
Kings.
I
That's
am
what
the Kings.
you're
I am
the
the Kings.
Kings.
I'll take that. I like that. fly the beam.
I
I do like that there are 4 teams with the exact same 7-7-2 record, which
and
is a
then
pretty.
two with the 6-7-3.
It's kind of hard to do in our league at this
I
stage.
know, like,
Like,
how do you get those ties to line up?
uh, the other interesting before we make our projections, we're gonna do some playoff picks here because we're a few weeks out. Uh, uh, it's been a tough roto season for me. Oddly enough, if we look at the roto, I'm still like I'm back up to the middle, but I was at the bottom for a long time because I had a lot of lot. My mid-season doldrums were quite bad. You're actually above me in the roto, uh,
And
which
I'm
is
like 10th in the
funny.
standings.
Joe, the mostly the stats are correct, but if you look at the last 3 weeks, totally different
Boom.
story. I'm on top, and you're number 3. You're making the run. I think I so
I don't know if there's enough time though.
I believe in you. I believe in you, because look who's like all of the people. I mean, like your thirds are right below you, but like all of the folks that you need to lose are down at the bottom, including show favorite no move Amy. who
Two
is
move it's two move Amy
Oh, it's
now.
two move Amy. It's two move
Yeah.
Amy. Two move Amy is falling into her late season pattern, and starting to fall down.
First at
So,
losing might only end up being second in losing.
yeah.
Not as
Uh,
catchy.
no, he is not good. He doesn't talk to me about when he's good, he talks to me about the league, like he'll text me. When he's bad,
Yeah, I
he
get
doesn't,
that. Why
he's gone.
spend so much time with something that's so frustrating and sad?
He's not pleased with his performance. And he is not out of it. He's not out of it, but he's
I
has a
mean,
tough
he
road
won
ahead.
out. What do we have? 4 weeks or 5 weeks?
4,
Four.
including this week.
So he could end up 2 games under 500. 2 games under could easily make it
Oh yeah.
if a few of these teams slump. But I just think there's so much like no one is better than anyone else that like it's going to be like Joe is number 1 by a million games. You're probably number 2 and then like 3 through 10 or 11 is probably going to be like a game and a half difference. So it's just going to be like which random guy gets hurt in the final 2 weeks, and whoever is healthiest in the final 2 weeks is good.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
whoever has the good schedule. I played Joe in the final week, so that's disadvantageous.
I play all mid-table teams, so I'm gonna try.
So I'm rooting for you to win out then.
Yes, I'm gonna do my
Run the
best.
table, get yourself to a respectable 2-1 win-loss, and call it good.
Let's look at. I'm just curious about Amy. Oh, so Amy's got tough schedule. So she's got a tough schedule.
All those middle teams, yep.
And
I mean,
then
everyone is a middle team though, so it's like everyone except you, Joe, and losing are a middle team basically.
yes. So then I believe you're gonna make it. So like I'm gonna vote for you. So because you can't vote for yourself. Uh who else? Let's go down. Let's go from the bottom, and I'll pull the teams up and you tell me. So I don't first lose. I don't think is gonna make it. Uh is it Aaron? I want to make sure I have names
I
right.
like this
Got
team. And it's a team that has had bad health luck. And I got angry because at this player because the other day I was going to do some garbage men work, and I did not realize that this person had picked up Mark Williams, who is one of my favorite potential garbage men candidates.
Oh,
Because I think Mason, right? Yeah, it's not
yeah.
Miles. Miles is long gone. That Plumlee is going to be on a different team starting this week. I think. I think he will be traded.
I think that I mean that is like the
And
consensus.
then I think he will be an 18-12 guy the rest of the way. I think Mark Williams will.
I mean, if he's the backup, like if he's a starter, like Plumlee is like a top 25 guy right now, which is
Just
one
by
of the
standing there. Like that's like catching passes from LaMelo and getting rebounds because no one else on that team can rebound.
it is interesting. This team should not be second to last. Like
Well,
it's
lots of
purely
injured,
games.
Embiid, LeBron, lots of injured guys there. Maxey missed a ton of time.
Yeah,
Rozier having like a great season.
this is purely a games played problem. Like versus a because even
The
like
talent, I
Barnes.
mean, Siakam is having the best season of his life. Like he's got, I mean, like on this team, like, is maybe the biggest like difference between real life and fantasy, because he's got 3 all NBA players on this team, like in LeBron, Siakam, and Embiid. He's got, a possible 6 man of the year guy. He's got Maxey, who's a breakout guy. Rozier's having a season of his life. Like, he's got a lot of good stuff, and it just hasn't come together. Probably luck reasons. So
What is he just? Yeah, because he's leading in points.
and threes.
That's crazy. Oh, that's the last couple weeks. So he's coming on stronger. Uh,
Points and threes, lacking the big man stats because Embiid is
mm,
like the only kind of big man he's got.
oh yes, he's bottom on big. Yeah, bottom on all the big and bottom.
That's 4 stats
Ooh,
punt, 5 stats punted every week basically. So
bottom of the efficiency is off forgotten one. That's a tough one to
you
overcome
got to
with
get
all
the
this.
efficiency. But this is the new guy to the league also.
Yeah.
So he has not yet experienced the ridiculousness and stupidity that sometimes happens with our league. And
How
and
dare you?
how much efficiency is prized. But this is like, these are all good basketball players. Guy drafted good basketball players.
I think what hurts them is people like Poole and people like Russell
D'Lo, yeah.
who are
So
just like
D'Lo is shooting much better this year than he usually does.
turnovers though. The
Yeah,
turnovers, like Poole is like probably near the top for the league in turnovers, I'd bet. And he's not adding enough value other places to like make up for
yeah.
that.
I don't know if he's earning that contract right now.
No. Like yeah, Poole's third in the league
Ooh,
in the NBA in
yeah,
turnovers
that's rough. Behind 2 guys who have the ball in their hands every minute
and
of,
above Russell Westbrook, which is
and
just
Giannis and Doncic and Jokic. Yeah, that's rough.
I looked at this earlier and it actually helped me because like Clarkson, who is eighth, which is also crazy and bad, he was really low ranked, but he's putting up but his turnovers are super terrible. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh, like I'm have so few turnovers otherwise that he's hidden on my team, but I didn't realize why his rank was so
it's
bad
like
until I saw
hiding a
this.
defender. You hide a turnover
Yeah.
guy.
So that makes more sense. So I think he's gonna be tough. That's tough to overcome all those
Yeah,
efficiency
that's
stats.
like, that record is a bit of a bit of a lie.
Yeah. Okay, then we got Amy.
I think Amy's in trouble. But that said, Davis is back.
Ooh, yeah,
So,
Davis is back.
you know,
Mitchell's been struggling lately. He's
well,
kind of cooled off.
I think he's kind of reverting to himself. Like, he's not like I am I am very not a Mitchell guy. I don't buy him as a first option. And maybe I'm wrong, and a 71-point game probably says otherwise. But I don't buy him as a first option. I love Brunson. He had all-star level ability. Dinwiddie, he could be interesting going forward.
To move, Amy needs to make some more moves. It seems like
Yeah,
we're,
I mean, that's ultimately going to be the downfall, is the lack of depth because of the lack of moves, and
yes.
that has been her Achilles heel every year. Is that, like, the moment some of these guys get injured, it's over because there's no backup. Hart has regressed. Curry is out for at least a month. Middleton is in and out of the lineup. There's going to be game played issues here with this team, I think.
Yeah, I think I agree. That's I'm definitely down, but on the under on Amy.
What do you think
Uh,
about the chat GPT of the team, of the league here, the auto draft, the AI draft? Sorry,
I
Chase.
wasn't sure where you were going, and I
The
got you
AI did
now.
it. The AI did it
Yeah,
for
I
us.
did it. He so Chase has been like popping along, and I think he actually is he kind of low on the roto, low last couple weeks. So him and Amy have been kind of on the decline. Um, let's see. That's a strange team. I don't know. Ooh, Xavier, that's a good pickup, whoever that is.
Backup for Steven Adams, who's been out for a while.
Good pickup. Yeah, he's got DFS, who could be a
And
big pop.
KD.
I think he's gonna pour it in. Like I think he's gonna unlock a lot of points, which was
I know
always his
you
weak.
are a DFS guy. You have had him a couple of times.
Uh, if he stays where he is from a defensive standpoint and just scores some more, like one or two threes more a game, and he's like a top 25 player. Like, so he can easily get that on the Nets, especially with Durant comes back. I'm pretty high on that. That could be a big bump. Who else? He's got Durant. That's a good double if he comes back. I think this is the ant. I mean, this is the reality.
Yeah.
If
And
Durant's
he's
out,
out
I think he's
through the
done.
All-Star break at least.
Yeah, I think that's
So that could be the killer.
if he comes back, I think he can squeak in.
But
If
I
he's
don't think
out,
they'll have enough weeks. Like when is the All-Star break is later now, right? Like,
but he is in eighth. He's in the eighth seed, so he just needs to stay where he's at.
yep.
So I think he's on the bubble. I think he is the bubble team because like
Yep.
with
Those
Durant,
are definitely, I think, the two teams that I have to pass to get there. Like,
yes,
obviously they're eighth and ninth, so that's just a dumb thing to say. But like if anyone's gonna fall, I think it's those teams. The four teams, I maybe we put Unseld in a slightly tier of its own. Uh,
ooh, they play each other this week. So one of them is so like the eighth, ninth are playing right now this week, and then uh Bathroom has me, and so he's got a tough lineup.
Bathroom has me.
Bathroom has me.
Love that. I just love that sentence.
Both these teams have basically the same closing schedule.
I don't have I don't play either of them
No,
again, which is sad for me. Because I would like my shot. I don't play a lot of these middle teams towards the end. Like I have Joe. I think I have those bottom two.
you
Or
got
I've one.
Peter. Peter's that's a big win if you beat Peter
That's a
this
good.
week.
He's a good matchup for me because he scores and scores, and I don't care about that. And I have rebounding, and he doesn't care about that. Although my rebounding has been really bad the last like 2 weeks for some reason that is unclear.
Peter and then 10 feet off Beal, like those are those teams. Like
Bill is
in
also a tough. I think is a pretty tough matchup for me if I recall.
uh they're
Ugh.
good. Like
Yeah, Zubac and Bam, like that's a tough matchup for me because
they're
like
in. I think they're definitely in the
yeah, I
playoffs.
think that's a playoff team.
Also Shea, who
Top
I
five.
top three, number three, which as the fans and league members have complained about constantly, I always go, oh, guards are good in this league. He is ludicrously good this season. He's like third overall in points in the NBA. Let me pull this up. Yeah, third overall in points
And
at the NBA,
Doncic and Tatum. Ooh, that's some good company.
shooting 50 and 91, which is banana town.
Which is kind
And
of amazing that he's done this. Like he doesn't make threes and he has no triple doubles.
and he's ranked third, and because it's turn is he's 50% on 990 shots, like which is nuts, and he actually
Also
pretty low turnovers.
91% from the line
Yeah, that's a
on
big
more attempts than Tatum.
yeah that's crazy. And then like turnovers,
Is he
they're
second
high.
in the league in free throws attempted? No, Giannis.
Can I get there?
Giannis
Third.
got third, and he makes them at 91%. So
That's
you win free throw percentage every week with him.
I
What's
mean,
his,
yeah, nobody's close. Lillard, like, look, oh, wow,
yeah,
that's a crazy good call. That is what's probably putting him up there because like nobody's even close.
and the two above him are both bad free throw shooters.
Yeah,
So it
look at
actually
that.
harms them.
Shit,
So
man, Shea
that kind of
outstanding.
explains part of why he's up there because he's such a good free throw shooter.
And then and yeah, and he's pretty efficient. Like his assist to turnovers isn't too crazy either. Like he's 270 to 130, so he's
Two to
above the
one. It's
two to
not very
one.
good.
And it's
It's
not
not horrible.
it's not horrible. It doesn't hurt him, I think, is how I would do anyway. So Shea is crushing. So I think he's a contender actually.
Yeah, I think that team's in.
They're
I would
definitely
not. It's gonna run into problems against like the high rebounding teams, but other than that,
yeah.
like
What is the weakness on the Beal? They're kind of good everywhere.
pretty good at
Wes.
everything.
Little weak on assists on weirdly. That's kind of
Yeah,
interesting. And
sports.
then field goal
Pretty good on
percentage
rebounds. I guess Bam and Zubats are very good at that. Yeah, see, good on
if they
everything.
play.
That's a perfectly like that is the team I tried to be and failed at miserably. So good job, Beal. You did well. Uh,
Yeah, I think they're in the I think they're definitely a semifinal team at minimum, and a
they could beat
contender if they're healthy.
because they don't rely on like three things. They could beat, this team could beat anyone any week and in any number of different ways.
And no real shutdowns. Any shutdowns? I think they're all maybe just no, I don't think
Well,
so.
LaMelo,
LaMelo might shut down. He's been playing really well too. That's
yeah.
been a
And
other.
he was missing for most of the season, so like he's got that back now. He's gotten healthy at the right time because Bam has had been in and out for parts of the year.
He's even got Vanderbilt. That's a good team. They're definitely making it.
Yep.
All right. So then, we think Peter.
One move, Peter.
One move, Peter is
What was
one
his
move.
one move?
I don't know. I'd have that is more than I'll be able to find
Yep.
rapidly for the show. We need the producers on that one.
I think this team relies too heavily on Brook and crap snaps. Either one of those players goes down and he's done.
He is starting Gordon Hayward, which is a red flag.
He's going to be shut down at some point.
But he's also just bad. Like he's not good
Yeah.
at all this season. I think that's well, that's better than I thought.
Fine. He gets some points, some rebounds, some assists. Like he's a fine ninth guy. Wendell Carter Jr. is really good. I like him. Tatum is top 5 probably.
Yeah, like 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, top 5. Harrow cooled off because that was his.
He's another guy I'm not high on that a lot. I feel like he makes so much more than him, but I would put him in the same tier as like Simons.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think he makes like 8 or 9 million more a year than him.
Why is he not playing Ingram?
Because Ingram has been hurt a lot and is just injury. Also, I'm not sure he sets this lineup. Like how long has Lowry been out?
1 game.
Oh,
He just got hurt. Yeah.
Uh,
And he's got 6. This is not 6 has been playing good. This is a good team. I think he's certainly better. This team is certainly more structured than I think Amy or but definitely some
I think
possible
he's probably
shutdown risk.
right in the spot where he should be. Maybe give 1 or 2 spots.
I think you'll be fighting with him for. I think you'll be fighting for him for the bubble. Like I think
Yeah.
definitely true. Mikey, who's been strong on the roto
Jokic
because Jokic always there. Dame
and
also
Dame, who
very
is like
good.
scoring 40 points a night on 60% shooting and no turnovers somehow, even though he has been a turnover machine for parts of the season.
Question that will enrage him when he listens to this. Will his over-reliance on the Orlando Magic as a roster mechanism doom his playoff run?
Well, do they shut people down?
He has all of them, so they can't
Right.
shut them
But
all
like
down.
if you shut down Franz and Paulo, for example, he's dead. Right?
Yeah, that's an interesting question if they do that. I wouldn't
Actually, I'm
think
not so sure because they're really inefficient. So maybe he's not dead. Maybe some of his efficiency goes up.
let's look at it. Let's look at the stats. Yeah, because like
Not
Paulo
like he has
started this.
no bench either. He's got some bench. So like he can handle Mitch Rob will come back at some point. So he could handle 1 or 2 shutdowns, I think. Jokic not getting shut down, Nance not getting shut down, Edwards not getting shut down, Dame not getting shut down. So like Franz and Paulo are a risk, but I don't think Paulo is going to get shut down because I'm pretty sure they are going to gun for him to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think he's gonna make it. He's third in the season roto overall, so
Another
that'd
team
be
that's pretty good at everything.
yeah. I do think it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. He should be there. Yeah, and I actually think he could have weeks where he spikes pretty hard, where everybody like has a good week. because like, Wiggins is still out there doing stuff. That's an interesting player, I think, because if everybody keeps staying hurt, he's like the only guy left, although he's having a little worse season this year.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, he's not like a statistical
that's true.
guy now at this point. He's like more of an intangible guy.
I think the ceiling is low here. Like I think like he's
Yeah, I don't know. I disagree. I think the ceiling is high, but the floor is low also. Like,
mm,
because Dame can get you 140 points in a week on 70% shooting with like 33s. And Jokic can get you 4 triple doubles. And like he's got some monsters statistically. It just depends on. I really do think you're right. I think his Orlando guys are going to be the decider. Like, do they get more efficient? Do they play towards down the season? But with it being earlier, I think shutdowns are less of a risk now.
yeah, I did that on purpose. It would only I think impact him like in late into the playoffs if he
Yeah,
continued his
I don't
run.
think it will mess with his attempt to get in.
All right, so we think he's good. We already did Beal. We think Beal's actually kind of underranked here.
Yeah, Beal
We
probably is. I would put Beal and Unseld maybe in a tier together.
Yeah, I think that's true. And so then we got last one. Then we got Sean. Fake it till you make it. The mark.
Another tough
Led
team.
led by standout for the season Okongwu, who's like top. He's like 30 as like the backup center, which is amazing.
Yeah,
Uh,
he also though is falling victim to the Hawks too many guys complex. They
they
need
gotta
to
trade somebody,
they
right?
got to trade a big. Like they need to trade one of Capella, Collins, or Okongwu because like there's a lot of money to invest in all those guys and time that they don't get. And there's other places on the roster that really need upgrades.
He's had Capella sitting on his IL.
Is he not setting his roster? Maybe.
Maybe not, because he's been like the fact that Capella has been playing for many, many weeks and he's still on his IL means he hasn't made any moves. Uh, so that's a bad sign.
Yeah,
So, so maybe we need to let Sean know that he's actually in better shape.
I know. Yeah, get
That's
Capella in
scary.
there.
So what I've learned from this is he's making the playoffs because he's undersold already.
Mhm.
I think this is a good team though. Like Giannis, we love Drew. He's got Capella,
Yeah,
who's
he's
actually been
very
playing.
heavy on the Hawks and the Bucks. He's very East heavy. Like,
Yeah, that's actually true. And Mobley. This is actually like a really good team. Why is this team should be better than it is? What is he bad at? What's going on here? No points.
doesn't
Interesting.
score. Doesn't
And no
score. It
stocks.
doesn't play defense and doesn't score.
No stocks with this team?
That makes sense. Drew has missed large chunks of the season,
Oh, that's true.
and Giannis, unsurprisingly, is not, or surprisingly, is not like a crazy stock
He
guy.
does not get a lot of stocks. This is true.
No, you would think he would, but he's not. Like he gets some,
He's
but
only 30 steals and 30 blocks. Like that's nothing for a guy
that's
like
like
that.
1 week of Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, that's like nothing.
Yeah, that's not much.
He's
Jackson
Jared
has
Jackson is Triple J is like 10th in average
he has
stats. Like
he
he
has
is a
seven
monster.
stocks tonight.
He's a
Like
monster.
he basically just did 10% of Giannis's full season stocks in one night.
I think this is so nobody thinks Tobias Harris is like an excellent defender, and he has the same amount. He
More.
has more stocks than Giannis. That I think tells you everything you need to know. That's interesting.
Yeah, see, only Drew is really getting a lot of them.
Yeah. I because
Even
I thought
Mobley is not like he's getting some. He's got, you know, some steals, decent amount of blocks, but
it's a
like
lot of turnovers for a center. Holy crap. Interesting.
yeah.
All right. I think he's in. He needs to set his roster. So basically, what we've and we're what Unsel's definitely in because they're very good. We
No,
just
still only one game. Like all it takes is like 2 injuries, and any of these teams are out.
That's true. And I will say, like, I think there's some shutdown risk here.
There's also a
Like,
lot of people who get hurt on this team.
and
Like
I think he's over reliant on Vooch right now, who's having like who is going ballistic from a stats perspective, even though the Bulls suck.
Even though it's not really winning basketball, but
Yeah, it's not really winning basketball. Um, I think this is a not durable team. And Westbrook, same thing. Like like there's a lot of
sixth man
question
of the
marks.
year, Russell Westbrook, man.
Is he could get it though, for
Who
real, right?
else?
I
Who else?
Mathurin,
Math is but he's cooled off.
he has cooled off.
This is another
Uh,
team though that hasn't made a move in a while because Christian Wood is sitting there on the IL. I don't know how long he's been back.
Westbrook's probably gonna get sixth man of the year. That's hilarious.
Just because of a name value perspective.
He's got a lot of triple doubles, which is actually impressive off the bench. Like you kind of gotta give him some credit for that. But we know
That
Joe
team
hates
is
him.
hilarious. Everything about them is hilarious.
And I think this should make the playoffs, but I think yeah, this team could lose some weeks kind of
I think I
unexpectedly.
would put Beal ahead of this team.
I think I agree.
I think I would put Beal as the third team. Maybe I mean you and Beal I think are kind of in a tier. Like I think Joe is his own tier. You and Beal are a tier, and then I think that everyone else is basically the other than maybe losing is another tier.
I'm a little worried, I'll admit. I have a lot of trade risk if trades get wacky.
You also
Uh,
have weight. Your Raptor dependence could kill you at any time,
it could, but right now
or maybe
it's
they'll get broken up and you won't have it anymore.
either way, all of these
Okay.
things could be true because like right now it's like actually winning me all the games because they're all playing incredible.
Yeah, I know that all turned around against me.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my question to you to segue back to trades.
Yes.
Of your Raptors, which teams will they be on in 2 weeks? Do you
Uh,
what team
Bo-
what team do you think Fred VanVleet will be on in 2 weeks?
I think he'll be on the Raptors.
You don't think he'll be traded?
I don't think he'll be traded.
Trent Jr., what team will he be on in 2 weeks?
I think he should be on the Lakers.
I think that makes sense.
If they're gonna make any trade, like that's who they should go get.
Yep. Scotty Barnes ain't getting traded. That's not happening.
Scotty, yeah, that's an easy one.
He's
Van Vliet's that's a burn down the house trade for me.
You have
Like
a lot of trade people. VanVleet, Trent, like
Plumlee, Pirtle.
Pirtle, and Plumlee could all. That's like half your team could be on a different team in a week.
I'm
Clarkson
Pirtle.
also.
Pirtle, I wouldn't be mad about because I think he's actually getting tamped down right now. He hasn't been as good.
What if the Raptors don't trade anyone but do get Pirtle, and then you just have more Raptors?
I think I might have to trade somebody. Like I think I might properly have to
I
go.
don't know if we can do. Do we have a trade deadline in our league?
I don't
Is
think
trade
so.
time over?
I don't think so. I'd have to
Okay.
look at that. That one is kind of funny and worries me. I can't have another Raptor. I have multiple times looked at Boucher on the waiver and been
You
like,
really should just go in on it. Just get
could
like the
use a
whole team.
Boucher.
Go trade for Precious Achua. Like, see if somebody if you could trade everybody else on your team for like Siakam or something. Get like go trade Gobert for Siakam.
No, my ace in the hole is this guy. This guy right
Garbage
here.
man.
Garbage man is gonna lead me to victory. I play like he's gonna be my ace.
He was
If
my last round pick, and I couldn't keep him because I had too many injuries and I couldn't field a full lineup.
I am mad that the two people I did draft and dropped early because they're bad in the beginning of the season, Harrison Barnes and Gafford, both have turned out to be good. So I'm like
Eh,
mad. Barnes is more
they're both
passable
eighth,
than
ninth guys.
they are, but like
Who do you sit for them on your current roster?
I'm not mad. Like I'm not like mad, like regretful, because like at the time it was the right move. But like I'd sit Royce for Harrison Barnes right now. Like he's a better player.
Mhm.
And then like I have the four center lineup that I have right now, but that's a matchup game. So I would like I would probably still have dropped Gafford at this point because of he was bad for a long time, and I picked up Plumlee, and Plumlee is like a beast. And I certainly wasn't not going to drop him for like Time Lord. Although
One of
Gobert's
the
killing me.
one of the fake trades on my favorite NBA podcast was Simons and Nurk for Gobert. That would be like, man, Minnesota, like you traded 6 years of draft and all you get out of it is Nurk and Simons. That would be hilarious.
Oh man. That I
I
that's
don't
like a
I don't want him anywhere near my team, but like because I hate Gobert as an individual and as a player. But like it would be the sheer hilarity of them blowing up that trade that they traded basically their entire future for in less than a year would be fantastic.
yeah, he's turned out to be not a great teammate slash cancer
It's
and
not a good team. Like they're just dumb. Like they don't do smart. They don't have smart players.
yeah, that's true. That's a
Like
good take.
Towns is not a winning player. Edwards is not yet a winning player. D'Lo is as far from a winning player as there is. Like honestly, like I hate to say it because he's kind of a scrub. They kind of miss Beverly.
Aw,
Like
Patrick.
I mean, like
Aw.
he's the fake tough guy, but like he like at least is like does some things that affect winning, and I think that he is like a spiritual leader, and I don't feel like they really have that on that team.
Um, this is not unique. I think this has been said, but I thought this at the moment. Sports moment of the year, easily in the house right now, is Beverly taking a camera to the
Oh, he
referee
does.
and
I
showing
mean,
them the foul. That was incredible. That is an all-time move. Like
I
all
mean,
that
he is a
that should be
maker of
in the Hall
moments
of Fame.
between that and like his like celebrating on the table as if he's Jordan winning his sixth championship for winning, getting into the play-in. Like those two things. That's a whole career of moments right there. That's
I
a
want I want in
career of moments.
bronze. I want in bronze him with the camera.
Yeah.
Incredible moment.
If NFTs were still a thing,
That's a top shot. That's a top shot right there for
that
sure. That if it's not, like that's gotta be like rare S level top shot. Is top shot still a thing? Is that still
it
like
exists still. I don't know. When it started, I bought a couple things on it. I still have them. I don't know.
does
For
does
like
Chat GPT make top shot? Is that how that works?
okay, now you're just saying like word salad.
So moral story.
ChatGPT is just Bing now.
Yeah, actually that super smart for Microsoft. They're making a lot of good moves. This is
Okay,
not
we'll
a
save
business
this for the
podcast.
tech pod.
Yes. The Tech Pod family. So moral story, what we have deduced from our playoff predictions is basically you, Amy, and Peter slash Chase are on the bubble.
Yeah, I
That's
think what is it? Two of those four will
two of
make it.
those four. I
Yeah,
think I think those are the four teams that will be on the bottom.
yeah. But again, it's there's two
Where
injuries. Anyone
where
can.
would you where would you want to end up if you had your
I mean,
druthers?
there's two things. I would like to avoid Joe in round one. However, I do think on the right week, I can beat him. I think I'm one of the few teams that can put together a week that can beat him. Like there have been weeks where I've out rebounded him and out offensive rebounded him. And that's the key. Like I would never outscore him, would never outshoot him, but I could out efficiency and out defense, and then it would just come down to out rebounding. So I think I like just because I'm not gonna win a championship. I don't have the top end talent to do it. It's just not gonna happen. Like my first round pick is non-existent. Uh but it would be fun to take a shot at the king and see if I could dethrone him.
If you do that and then make the finals and it's you and me, like it's like a perfect storybook for the
It
season.
would be like if the people who paid the most attention to this and nerded out about it all the time did the best. Like
As if they had a weekly
shock.
podcast.
Yeah. I mean, what's more is the embarrassment that I'm well under 500 despite this nerdery. That's more of an indictment than anything else.
I think we have discussed already a few times that this is like your worst fantasy performance like of all time, right?
No, I've had some really bad football ones, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
by far my worst basketball one because the football ones were always like I picked the guy who got hurt in the first game and like the star running back, and there's
Yeah.
no coming back from that. Like you can do it without your first round pick in basketball because there's more people and more parity. But like the fact that, and if you took away my first 4 weeks, I like where I just it's the worst draft I've ever had. I think.
You're right on the first pick because like my first pick is Gobert, who has been not good at all this season, and like basically like a 7th round pick. That I've managed to avoid his awfulness on
Yeah.
this team.
You can still win big even if you fuck up your first pick.
I think it's
Because
true.
there's
And
lots of I mean, and Joe is a good testament to that. Like his first pick was Harden, who when he's in there is good, but like he's not the Harden he was. He's not the top end, like high level Harden, but he's got so many other guys that hit so far above their weight that it like turned his team into a monster.
monster.
You know, if you went and got Gilgeous-Alexander in what, the 6th round, like you got a top 3 player in the 6th round.
Or Claxton, which is Joe
Or
and
or
marketing.
Lowry, or Sabonis in round 2, or you know, Julius Randle in like round 8 or whatever. Kudos, Joe. You did good.
We can't be mad anymore.
Give you your props, but we're gonna come for you. We're gonna take you out.
I think that's as good a place as any to end. Good luck. I wish you the best to your playoff run. I think you're gonna get there. I think you're gonna.